So here's the deal. I drive over part of my yard way too much. This whole section over here, all the way down past the shed, down there, all the way over, back up to the rototiller and to here, I just can't get anything to grow. Like there's a weed. Over there, this section further down, basically from this little hump in the gravel, straight back to that log and over to the same section, all this, it grows, but it only grows weeds. It doesn't grow grass. I just drove over it way too many times. The pine tree used to be right here. I filled in a bunch of this with a ton of topsoil. I can't even remember. I think it was like 6 or 7 dump truck loads, or dump trailer loads, I mean, sorry. And in doing so, I went over with the Bobcat way too many times and packed it all down. So I have my friend's rototiller. I'm gonna try rototilling this whole area. And I'm gonna rototill it up to loosen it up. And then I'm gonna get some compost and mix that in, because I feel like, at least in this section, primarily, it's too sandy. And it just doesn't have the nutrients. Over here it might have nutrients, but over here it doesn't. That's part of the issue I think I'm fighting. So I'm gonna get compost and mix it in and then rototill it again. Now, because it's so packed, I don't think I can get it with just the rototiller. So I'm gonna try it first, and if I'm fighting it too much, I have the grapple bucket on the Bobcat, and that has like 7 or 8 inch tines that I can kind of like rake across the ground to break it up some, and then I'll go over with the rototiller. But let's see how this goes with just the rototiller first. All right, well, the spotlights aren't actually lighting it up very well for the camera, but that's doing garbage. I went like 4 passes, 5 passes, something like that. And again, you can't see it, but it's like barely scraping the surface. And the ground is just so rocky, the thing just keeps jamming. So I'm gonna go through with the Bobcat. And like I said, the tines on here, let's see if we can get on that. Right here, from here to back, you can't even see my hand because of the shadow. That's like maybe 10 inches. So I'm just gonna rake through it all with that. All right, well, I'm gonna have to show this tomorrow in the daylight, but I tried 2 different methods. One, driving forward and trying to like rake forward. And again, gonna have to show it in the daylight, but this side over here, I did that. And it worked, but it didn't work. I'm just essentially driving back over it again and packing it again. So I don't think that's really the way to do it. So on this side over here, from this tree back so far, I was plunging the tines into the ground and then kind of like pushing them forward, backing up a little, plunging them in, pushing them forward. And it seems like it's breaking it up a lot more, or at least I'm not packing it back down. So I think that's the way to do it. I'm going to have to go through all of this again. I wish I have spotlights there. The one on the shed keeps turning on and off. I don't know why, but they're not showing anything. But back to the point, I have to go through this and pull a lot of stones and rocks and everything out of this, because the rototiller gets anything about, I don't know, probably 3 inches in diameter or so, is getting clogged up in the rototiller. So yeah, I have to pull them all out. And like I said, I'm going to mix compost in this, enrich in the soil, and I'm going to go more. But again, let's get to it tomorrow in the daylight. So I was just using the GoPro to record some, and it wouldn't show any of this. It wouldn't pick up any of the light from the spotlights on the house and the shed. So again, it's still nighttime, but this is kind of what I'm talking about. Over here is where I was starting over there, pushing the Bobcat forward and kind of like raking forward. And I made a little bit of a pile right here, but that's not a big deal. But the thing is, I'm just driving back and forth over what I'm trying to loosen up, and I don't want to repack it. So I started on this end from this tree back. If you notice, there's no tire marks in it. I started sticking the grapple into the dirt like this and then kind of flinging it forward. I'd stick in again and fling forward. And I was doing it, I'd like to say every 6 to 8 inches, I think, apart. So I have a feeling it's all broken loose, but there might be some spots that aren't. But I'm not driving back over it. So I think that's going to work out great. I do have to, like I said, pick up all the rocks. Like this is what here's a foot for comparison. That's probably a 1.5 foot diameter, maybe. And that's not the only one. They're all over. The rototiller will not hold up to that. It's just gonna bog out, and I'm gonna end up breaking my friend's rototiller, which I don't want to do. So yeah, we're gonna have to go through this, pick up all the rocks, rototill it afterwards, because the rototiller is gonna break up the chunks like this right here. This is how packed the yard is. This is dirt, and it's not rock, it's dirt. It comes up in chunks. So that's not good. There's no water penetrating into this. Like, you can feel how flaky it is. Let me get one that's like this. You would think this right here is a rock, but it's not. It's just so flaky. So the rototiller is gonna break all that up. Yeah, I flipped it upside down. There you go. But again, I'll start at this again tomorrow. Okay, so it's actually been 2 days later because we had a bunch of rain and I didn't want to make a soupy mess. But today I was kind of in a rush because the sun's already going down. I broke up the entire section that I plan on doing. So, like I said, around the hump right there, straight back to the log, and then all the way over. The reason I'm not doing right here, there's 2 reasons. This is actually pretty soft, so that's good. I don't want it hard. So this area is actually fairly soft. I feel like a couple of years back I put in a bunch of fill in here, and I did it by hand before I had the Bobcat, so it wasn't crushed. The second reason is this tree right here, I don't want to mess up the roots on that. So there you go. Over here, this is what I did the other night. So all this with the grass and weeds mixed in, that's what I just did today. But the other night I did this section from here over, and you can definitely tell the difference in the dirt. So this is moderate. It's not good, but it's not terrible. This is moderate dirt. It does grow something, it's just not growing great. Over here is just bad. I mean, you can definitely tell the difference in the rocks that come up and everything. Like, that thing's like a foot in diameter. Right next to it's a foot flat. There's another foot diameter. That's like an 8-inch diameter. Here's 2 more, and this is all within 4 feet of each other, and it goes through the whole thing. So definitely need compost in here. Pull all these rocks out. Like, look at some of these. That's probably almost 2 foot. That's probably almost 2 foot. And I'm not going deep. I'm 6, 8, maybe 10 inches at most, and that's where they are. They're sticking up that much. But yeah, gotta pull out all these rocks. It's gonna be a long time going through here. I am gonna put the bucket on the Bobcat and then just drive over and park it and carry the rocks to the bucket. So yeah, I will be driving over this area, but I'm not going to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth in the same spots, packing it down over and over and over again. So I'm hoping it's not that bad, and then I can get the rototiller, till it all up, get the compost, spread that out, and till that in as well. Alrighty. Alright, so I rented a rototiller for the Bobcat because the walk behind one just wasn't cutting it. So I'm in the middle of unloading it right now, and because I don't have a flatbed, I got to figure something out. Thinking I'm just gonna chain it to the forks, lift the forks up so it's up in the air, drive the truck forward, drop it back down. That's my thoughts. Let's see how it goes. Oh yeah, don't do what I'm about to do and climb under the forks. Highly not advised. All right, well, something's up with the coupler. The collar will not move. This will not move. So I gotta figure that out. So the walk behind rototiller wasn't cutting it, so I rented this Bobcat brand rototiller for the skid steer, and it's still beating me up, but not as bad. It's coming out good though. The guys and my daughter have been picking out rocks, and we have some, not a whole lot over there, but we still have some stacked up over there. Over there we have another stack, and then yesterday and last night we were working a lot, and we got a lot of rocks. A ton is an understatement. This is 6 full bucketfuls that we stacked into the Bobcat bucket. I don't know how big the Bobcat bucket is, but this would, if I had to guess, is probably around 2, maybe 3 ton of stone. Yeah, there's a lot, and obviously there's more, but I think I'm at the stage where I'm ready to go get the compost, spread that out, and then rototill that in, and then it comes down to the final raking and grading and all that fun stuff. All right. Okay, so I think we've got most of the rocks out. She is still going through picking up miscellaneous ones that we still find, but I got the compost in the dump trailer, and we are going to, or I'm going to, scoop that out and spread it out, kind of sprinkle it over everything, and then rototill everything in. I got 4 yards, so I don't know if it's enough. Like I said, I'm just going to sprinkle it over everything, and then I'll rototill it in. It's just to get some more nutrients in the soil. Let's see if it works. Where can I set up the GoPro? I'll set it up back here. Maybe I won't. Right there. I think that's a view. lot of the compost spread out, sprinkled out all over everything, but the last of it I can't get for two reasons. I'm starting to slide all over this ramp. Good thing it's a full wide ramp and not just individual, but once I get up the hill, or once I get up the ramp, I can't get the bucket at this whole area right here and up there. Because I'm on this and it's compost, I'm just sliding and I can't actually scoop into it. So I'm gonna back the trailer up. I'm gonna dump the rest of it right there, which I liked what I was doing. The reason I did that is so I didn't have a massive pile and I had to spread it around. I'm trying to reduce the amount of driving over there, although yes, I am driving on it. We're still gonna be rototilling it, loosening it all up again. But yeah, so this pile is gonna drop there and I'm gonna spread out the rest. Start at the bottom. May, give me the shovel. What you want to do, you don't need to scrape it. Just do that. See? Oh. Okay. And do it to that side.
Doesn't work that well.
Do it in the corner. Get to the very bottom. This compost is extra sticky. That's a good sign. Over here. That's fine over there. Try just kicking right here with your feet. Do it again. See if it does it. Not quite enough. Now just brush it down with your foot. The big club. That should be good enough. Alright, so the GoPro stopped working. It won't take a charge. It's broken, busted, whatever. So I got a very little clip of a time lapse of me going around with the Ace and the chain harrow to level all this out. But I didn't get anything of us raking it, picking up the last little bit of the rocks, and also spreading any of the grass seed. She is spreading the starter fertilizer right now. I just set the hose out with the sprinkler to start watering it. And now it's just keep religiously, I guess you could say, watering it daily, ritually, that's what we should say. Watering it daily. So, for you guys that don't know what a chain harrow is, this is it. It's 4 foot by 4 foot, and it's got tines. Let's flip this over. These tines that stick down on this setting, and they kind of just dig into the dirt a little and kind of just scrape it all. So it breaks it up on harder dirt, or not harder, but medium dirt. It'll break it up, but this was really packed, so it wouldn't have worked. But it levels everything out. It'll pick out any of the rocks that are just barely subsurface. And like you can see, it picks up roots and stuff like that. Now this actually has 3 different settings. Call it settings. You can pull it with the drawbar over there, and it pulls the tines like this right here, where it's considered the aggressive setting. You can move that drawbar to this side, and then it'll flip these tines backwards, which it's kind of jammed right now. Actually no, that's the aggressive setting. This way is the little less aggressive setting. So I have it on a medium, and then you can flip the whole thing over and run it so these nubs are down, and that's like the least aggressive setting. That's for it can be used for dethatching a lawn. So basically some of my existing grass I used to dethatch, because nothing really wrong with it, it just needed a little dethatching. So yeah, pulled that around. That helps out getting it prepped for raking, so you're not doing as much raking, so that's good. It also generally, like, it won't level everything out, but it'll smooth it out, so it's just swale, so it's not as rough with the mower. So here is our pile of rocks. So okay, that boulder is about 6 foot, maybe 7 foot from that edge over there to that edge right there. From here to there is 5 foot. That used to be in the center of the yard. It used to be right about there. And then when I first got the Bobcat, I moved it over here because I had to use the Bobcat. I just couldn't help myself. I wanted to. So as comparison, if that's 7 foot by 5 foot, look at this pile of rocks. It's bigger. Not only is it slightly taller, it's definitely wider. I don't have a tape measure here, but I'd have to say from that log to that edge is probably 10 or 11 feet right there. And yeah, that's taller right there. I'm standing probably about 10 feet away from it, so I can get the whole thing. But it's big, and it's also deep. So we'll eventually do something with these rocks, but I'm not going to touch those for probably a year. Just let them sit there. Nothing's going to harm it. So yeah, that's that. It was a mission. Hopefully I never have to touch this again, other than the watering and lawn mowing. But I mean, as far as tearing it up, I've been fighting with this for, I think I said earlier in the video, like 3 years trying to get grass to grow back here, and I haven't been able to. I'd get like a section probably around like here over, I would get some grass and mostly weeds. From like here over, I'd get like a couple weeds and just dirt and mud. So I still do have to have access for my Bobcat storage area over here, but I can just leave the Bobcat in the extended driveway right now. So that's fine. Until then, I'm probably going to open up a little section over here I don't even think I need to remove any trees. I just need to clean some of the brush so I can get the Bobcat in and out this way. I think I might do that. And then just move that plow over here somewhere. Yeah. That way I don't have to disturb the grass at all. And even at that, after this is established, I do still drive over that part of the yard. Like I've been driving over that part of the yard and it still grows, but it's once the grass is established, that's the key thing. I could never even get grass to get established over here. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh yeah, here's some more rocks. We still got to pick these up. When I move that trailer, I'll pick these up. But hope you guys enjoyed. Maybe it gives you some ideas of what to do with your own yards. I had the Bobcat and that saved a lot of time and back-breaking labor, but it's definitely still laborious. But you could do it with a walk-behind tiller like that and some shovels and rakes. Just takes a lot of effort. Have a good one.